What is up, Stargirl fans? Welcome back to another episode review, and this is for episode 5 of Stargirl. And I keep saying it every week for every episode. It just keeps getting better and better, and I have a feeling that by the end of the season, it's gonna be like one of the best shows ever. It's already my favorite show on TV right now, but like I said, it's just gonna keep getting better. Like, if you like it now as much as I do, you're just going to keep liking it even more every week as the show goes on. And that's what really excites me for the future of this show. In not only this season, but also possible future seasons, which are most likely happening with the success of the first 5 episodes. So, yeah, this is really exciting. But let's go ahead and jump into the episode and find out everything that happened, because a lot happened in this episode. The episode started off with another flashback intro, as I believe the past 5 episodes have. So I think every episode is going to start off with some kind of flashback for the character that the episode is about. So this one was about Rex Tyler and his wife, and they were leaving because the Injustice Society was after them. So they decided to leave their son with his uncle, and then they have to go drive off. And, let's just say that Solomon Grundy shows up, and we do get a nice, very quick shot of what Solomon Grundy looks like. So I'm hoping at some point in the season we'll see a really good battle with him, or like a really good shot of what he looks like, because he looks really good here, and I'm excited to see more of him. But basically it shows that Rex Tyler and his wife are murdered by Solomon Grundy, and he was obviously put up to that by the Injustice Society. But then in present day, Rick is still living with his uncle, but let's just say that his uncle isn't really a good person to take care of him. Like, he's a jerk. But Rick is spending his time working on a yellow 66 Mustang, so that's how he spends his time away from his uncle, to get away and escape. Because everybody's got to have a hobby, so that's what his hobby is. But when we show up at school today, in this episode with Courtney and Yolanda, they are still looking for more Justice Society members, and they do suggest that they use or talk to Artemis Kroc. So if you don't know, Artemis Kroc is the daughter of Tigress and Sportsmaster, and if you watch Young Justice, then of course you know who Artemis is, but this is the show's adaptation of her. So hopefully we'll see her maybe become the Artemis that we know from Young Justice in a future season. I don't think she'll have really that big of a role in this season. Probably just small cameos and references like this, but it was nice seeing this. But during this whole conversation between Courtney and Yolanda, Beth is following them, because in the last episode she heard that Yolanda and Courtney were up there, and she basically found out they're superheroes. So she's investigating, and then she runs into the janitor again, who we believe is a JSA member, or at least a former JSA member. Still not sure which one, so like I said, let me know down in the comments below. Who do you think the janitor is? Because he's got to be some secret guy. But then we move on to local movie theater, where this random dude is meeting up with the gambler to give him some blueprints for a satellite dish. And then the gambler gives him, of course, his money as his reward. Then he's like, and also a tip, and then he gives him this chocolate coin. And that will come into play later down the way in the episode. But Pat and Courtney are on their way home from school, or actually, no, probably on their way to school. I'm not really sure which one, but the car won't work. It stopped working. So while Pat is trying to fix it, Rick walks by, and he introduces himself, and then he points out everything that's wrong, because he's super smart when it comes to cars. And then Courtney notices that the hourglass from Hourman starts glowing when Rick is around, and then it stops glowing when he leaves. So she realizes something must be connecting them together. So what is so special about Rick? And then we see the other main character of this episode that the episode is focused on, and that's Beth. And because she's still investigating, she goes over to Courtney's house. She talks to her mom for a while, and even her mom gets annoyed with her because of how enthusiastic she is. So Beth ends up chasing the family dog upstairs, because the dog had Dr. Mid-Nite's goggles in his mouth. So then she puts those on and meets Chuck or Charles or whatever, which is basically the AI system in the goggles, which were formerly owned by Dr. Mid-Nite. And I mean, she's the new Dr. Mid-Nite now, basically. And she now has access to a bunch of information, X-ray vision, night vision, and all kinds of cool stuff in there. So I'll be really interested to see how this plays out in the rest of the season. But then Courtney gets home, and then she finds Beth in her room, and then, of course, she explains everything. And then Beth actually reveals, because her goggles can get a bunch of information super quickly, that Rick's real name is Rick Tyler, when his fake name in this story was Rick Harris. After his parents died, his name was changed to Rick Harris because they didn't want anyone to know the relation there. But those two head on over to a Halloween party along with Yolanda to look for Rick. And this Halloween party is actually hosted by Cindy, so it's taking place at her house, and it shows her upstairs in her bedroom. She's getting ready, putting on her makeup and everything, and you can see on her mirror there's a bunch of pictures of her and Henry, her and her best friend, and then also we see her father, aka Dr. Ido, who we did see our first look at in last episode as the Dragon King. So yes, Cindy is the daughter of the Dragon King, and it's really cool. I'm excited to see if she'll become a villain or anything like that, so I'm just excited to see how her character will grow from here. But after she gets done getting ready, she heads downstairs and joins the party in her sexy vampire outfit, so very nice. And she talks to Henry, and he starts to have like headaches because he's like, oh, the music's super loud, and you can tell that he is starting to get his powers, especially when he goes outside and he sees Yolanda, and he hears her say jerk, except she doesn't say it. That's just what she's thinking. So he clearly read her mind, and this is foreshadowing to when he fully gets his powers. And I don't know if he's going to become a villain or a hero, because he might be a villain because of what Stargirl did to his father, but at the same time, he doesn't really seem like a bad guy. Like, he's not as much of a jerk as like Cindy, so he may actually join the JSA at some point. But after this, the team finds Rick, and they all explain that his dad is Hourman, and then they explain the whole hourglass thing and all the powers with it, and basically that when you put it on, you can have super strength for an hour, and that's basically it, and then it has to like recharge or something, and that's why it's an hourglass. Like, you flip it up, and then it's like the timer of how long you have this super strength for. But then after this, he likes the powers, he likes the hourglass and everything. He's glad he knows that his father was a hero, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with the team. He does not want to join the JSA. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it. He just wants to keep on living his life. So Rick goes throughout town just testing out his powers, basically destroying stuff. But then Stargirl and Wildcat show up, and then also Beth shows up because she just found out that actually the accident with his parents wasn't that much of an accident, because actually Solomon Grundy murdered them, and that's what they find out. And then Beth shows them with her cool goggle hologram thing that they've got going on, so that was really interesting to see. And you got to see like a hologram version of his parents and Solomon Grundy and everything. So then after seeing this, it finally convinces Rick that he needs to join this team because he wants revenge for his parents, like specifically his father, but also his mother as well. But whereas Courtney and Yolanda and Beth, they just want justice to be served, no, Rick just wants pure revenge. So he basically wants to kill the bad guys. But then after he joins the team, we get this kind of post-credit scene type thing where two drivers get stopped by the Fiddler, which is the principal, and we know that now, or at least the new version of the Riddler. I assume her husband was the original one. But she starts playing the fiddle, or violin, or whatever, and she starts controlling these drivers, or at least one of them, but then the other one is completely shot and murdered by the gambler. He's got this cool gun that pops out of his sleeve. But she is controlling the other one, and that's basically her powers. The violin or fiddle can control people, so that's really cool. But then the violin plays over these other scenes that we're seeing here, including the guy that delivered the blueprints to the gambler. He ate that chocolate coin. Turns out it was poisoned, so oops. I mean, now he's dead. So we're not seeing that guy again. But that's just a look at what the gambler can do. But then the final part is we see Pat, and he basically does some more research, and he realizes that Rick's father was Hourman. It was Rex Tyler. So then things get really interesting, because then the vehicle that Rex and his wife were driving when they were murdered by Solomon Grundy has been found, and now it's at Pat's shop. So now we can really dive deep into the story and figure out what's going on here. But then he also finds out that Courtney has actually been going out and recruiting members for the JSA, because he finds all the artifacts from the JSA in her backpack in her bedroom. So yeah, we'll have to see where this goes from here. But that is pretty much everything that happened in the episode. And I say that's pretty much everything like it wasn't a lot, but it really was a lot. And once again, this is really more of a setup episode, but it was still a really good episode, because these first 5 episodes have really been about not only setting up Courtney and Stargirl as the main character, but also her team, the new JSA, her relationship with Pat and the rest of her family, as well as, of course, the villains of the series, the Injustice Society. So I'm super excited to see more from this. What do you guys think about this? Do you have any theories or anything? What do you think is going to happen next? Not only in the next episode, but also the rest of Season 1. So let me know all your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.